Hello there. Good morning. Get you some coffee and join me. Let's bake. Have some fun. We're going to do a chicken pot pie, and then we're going to make a baked mac and cheese. So, I'm going to get my hands washed here, and we'll get started. Okay, let me get you turned around here where you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to be using a frozen pie crust. See if I can get, there we go. I'm just going to be using a frozen pie crust this morning that I've let thaw. So now I'm just going to poke a few holes in here. I've made one of these before on my channel. Okay, hopefully you can see those holes. And then I'm also going to use a frozen pie crust for the top as well. So I'll go ahead and get my filling made for my pie crust, and then we'll get started. So for my filling, I had baked a whole chicken. I deboned it and I had frozen it, and this is mostly breast. And this is what we're going to use for filling today. And then I have 1 can of mixed vegetables, and I'm going to drain those. You can use the frozen vegetables if you like. I just use the can of the mixed vegetables. And then the shredded chicken. And then I'm going to use 1 can of cream of chicken soup. How is everyone today? Hope you're having a good Tuesday. And you're probably going to hear my Maltese in the background. We'll see if I can give him a treat here. Okay, let me wash my hands again. He's learning kitchen etiquette. He is 9 months old this month. He's a Maltese puppy. Okay, now so far all I've got in here is my shredded chicken breast, mixed vegetables, and 1 can of cream of chicken soup. And then I'm going to add a little bit of just salt. going to add a little bit of pepper. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of garlic powder. And I'm going to get all that stirred up really good. I don't really do a whole lot to my chicken pot pie. I just make a nice thick filling. My husband likes the thick fillings. And this seems to be his preferred filling for the chicken pot pie. Again, that was the chicken, the whole chicken that I had baked. And then I had deboned the chicken and then froze it. And then I had thawed it back out to make chicken pot pie. So that was what I'm using for my filling, was the deboned chicken. And it was chicken breast. And as you can see, that's a very thick filling. And I'm going to go ahead and just get this in my pie here. Can you see that okay? Or do I need to move one way or the other? And this makes a very, very nice filling. You have definitely got chicken in every bite. And I like using the chicken that I baked, the whole chicken, to use to debone it for my filling, because that chicken already has all that flavor. And I have clean hands, so yes, I'm going to get my hands right in it. I'm old-fashioned. And I'm just going to smooth this out a little bit. And you can see that makes a very nice center filling. And then I'm using the other frozen pie crust that I let fall. And this will be for my top. So I'm going to set this off to the side. And I'm just going to get a small piece of wax paper with something to keep it from coming apart on the counter. I don't want it to stick. This is a quick and easy cheating pie. I didn't make it. Bravo. Hi, good morning. I didn't make the pie crust today. I'm trying to use up any frozen pie crust that I had left over from the holidays. And I like to rotate my freezer, so this is going to be my topping for my pie. And this is just basically another frozen pie crust. Let me rotate here. I don't have a whole lot of room here, so I'm just trying to make it where you can see good. And I'm just going to try and center this. And then I'm going to take some of this extra off on the outside. You can see that extra hanging over. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of that off. I'll just start right here. I don't want to take all of it off, but I will just take some of that extra off. Because I'm not going to need all of that. And then we'll get this chicken pot pie ready. And then I'm going to put in, make some baked mac and cheese. I had made some macaroni salad the other day, and I made extra macaroni. So we're going to go ahead and turn it into baked mac and cheese. Okay, let me see how that works out there. Now what I want to do is just do a pinch. Nothing special, just enough to where it's going to seal really good. And I'm just using my 2 fingers and then placing my thumb in between them. Two fingers and then a thumb. And that's making a nice little seal in there to seal my pie up, to get my 2 crusts mixed together. Gives it a nice seal. And then I'm going to go all the way around the edge. And I'm going to see if I can't seal this a little bit around the edge. Any of that extra dough. Make a nice little crust. Got a little bit extra there, so I'm going to go ahead and just take that off of there. This is very quick and very easy, and of course I cheated. I had the frozen pie crust. Good morning, I'm a chef out of Colorado, and I like watching you cook. You should consider making memorials for your recipes as short videos. Oh, well, thank you. I started doing these because my daughter gets really overwhelmed in the kitchen easy. And she does so much better if she's right there with me when I'm cooking. So I thought I would go ahead and add a few recipes for her. And then that way she can just follow along. And it's just like she's in the kitchen with her mom and she doesn't get overwhelmed. Okay, now here, it's just a simple pie crust. And then I'm going to cut a few holes for venting because I want it to not overflow. Now, I'm not a chef by any means. I just am an old-fashioned cook. My grandmother was a Mennonite, and I used to love to go to her home and to watch her cook and bake. Her home always felt like a bakery. Let me put my Do Not Disturb on. Sorry about that. And then I just put a few little holes there in the center. Nothing special. Just enough for venting. So that's what that's going to be looking like. Now I'm going to set this off to the side. And I'm just going to make some mac and cheese. So I'm going to move you over here now. Now I had made some macaroni salad the other day. And I had extra macaronis. So what I did was just let them cool off. And I froze them in a freezer bag. And then I put them out to thaw. So we're going to turn this into baked mac and cheese. So I'm going to be starting with just a stainless steel pot. And I went ahead, let me see if I can get you down here. The ingredients I'm going to be using is 2 tablespoons of butter. And I've got it at room temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in there. And I'm going to go ahead and start warming this up. And I want to do this low. I don't want this very high. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on my oven so it can start preheating. Now I'm going to let this melt a little bit. And then I have 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. So once that melts, I'm going to make my cheese sauce. I also have an 8-ounce box of Velveeta cheese. I let it get to room temperature. And as you can see, I've diced it up in small chunks. So it's going to be easier to melt. And then I have about a cup or half a cup of cheddar that is at room temperature. And I'm going to have 1 can of evaporated milk. Now I do have an egg that I'm going to do an egg wash over my pie before I put it in the oven. If I can eat your cooking, I'd like it. I'll like it. Oh, well, thank you. Okay, now I'm just melting this butter. And that's 2 tablespoons of butter. Now I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And I want this to kind of brown a little bit. So it doesn't have that floury taste to it. I'm going to go ahead and open my can of milk. And I'm just making a small batch because it's only my husband and myself. So basically all I'm letting this do is absorb some of this flour so that it doesn't have such a floury taste. So you don't really want to walk away from this. You want to be able to be right there to watch this. And you'll see it turn color. It only takes just a couple minutes. Now I'm going to go ahead and move over to my whisk. And I'm going to go ahead and add my milk. You can hear it's nice and warm. And you don't want to walk away from this because you don't want it to scorch. Sorry, but I need to turn on my exhaust. Now I'm just going to whisk this so it can get all the lumps out. And then I'm going to warm this up. Then I'll add my cheese. I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon of salt. And this is very easy for me because I already had the pasta cooked. It was left over from where I made the macaroni salad, and I let it cool. And then I froze it and just let it thaw back out. So we're going to turn it into baked mac and cheese. So while that's doing its thing, I'm just going to spray my pan with the oil, with some Pam. Just lightly spray it. That way it won't stick so bad. And it's only myself and my husband, so I don't really need a large batch. Letting this heat up slow. I hope everyone's having an absolutely wonderful Tuesday. Normally I have terrible Tuesdays, but it's not doing too bad today. Now when this gets warm, I'm going to slowly start putting these cheese chunks in. It depends on how cheesy you want your mac and cheese. You don't have to use this whole 8-ounce for a small batch. And as you can see, this is a gallon freezer bag, so I have probably about a quart of pasta. Okay, now this is starting to thicken up really nice. So I'm going to slowly start putting the cheese in. And I want to make sure this is down on simmer. I don't want it too hot at all. And I'm just going to slowly drop in some of this cheese and let it start melting. And this is room temperature, so it should melt pretty quick. Hopefully you can see that okay. It makes such a pretty cheese sauce. And I like my cheese sauce pretty cheesy. So right now I've probably used about half of that 8 ounces. So I'm going to see how thick that is. And I do use the chunks and chunk mine down so they melt faster. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in some of the room temperature cheddar. I don't want a lot, but I'm going to add just a little bit. I want a nice thick macaroni sauce. See if I can move you a little bit closer here so you can see how nice this looks. No, I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me try raising you up. There, hopefully you can see that sauce. That is a nice, thick, cheesy sauce, and I don't think I want to go any thicker with that. Let me see what it does when it completely all melts here, but that's pretty thick. So I think we're going to just, I think that's going to be really good. Maybe just a few more. I don't want a whole lot more because I don't want it to be too thick. Depends on what you want on your thickness. You'll know by feel. And as it gets a lot warmer, of course, it's going to melt faster. Oh, that feels really good right there. You can see how nice and thick that is. It's a nice thick sauce. So as soon as that melts, we'll go ahead and add the pasta. I don't want any lumps in there. And like I said, I'm by no means a professional chef or cook. I just like to cook from my family, and this is the way they did it, so it's the way that I continue to do it and pass on down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off because I don't want my cheese sauce to scorch. And this should give you an idea of the thickness. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring my spoon back. Let me just get a new one here. I'm going to add my pasta. Again, that was about a quart of pasta. And I'm just going to mix that in and get that full of all the scrumptious cheese. Hopefully you can see that okay. And now we're going to go ahead and put that, move this to the side. And then I'm just going to add this cheese into my pan, or macaroni and cheese into my pan. My hands just don't work like they used to. And you can see how nice and thick that is. And cheesy. Some people don't like as much cheese. That's up to you entirely. nice and cheesy. And now we're just going to cover this in some shredded cheddar. And I want to make sure I cover it all really good. So if you want a larger batch, of course you would double that. Doesn't that look scrumptious? Okay, now I'm going to move you back over to this side. And we're going to go ahead and just put a egg wash on top of this chicken pot pie. So I just have one whole egg at room temperature. And I'm just going to beat that up really good. And we're just going to do an egg wash on the top of the chicken pot pie. And I've placed both the chicken pot pie and the mac and cheese on a cookie sheet lined in aluminum foil. I've got my oven preheated to 350. Okay, now I'm just going to coat my whole top with my egg wash. I want to make sure I get my crust good. And this will give it a nice shiny golden brown. Crust. And it'll give it like a shine as well. And now we're going to put this in the oven. It'll take probably, I'm just going to leave it in there until this is nice and brown. It shouldn't take that long because I did have thawed pie crust, top and bottom, and none of my vegetables were frozen. It was 1 can of mixed vegetables, 1 can of cream of chicken soup, and then I'm also going to have my mac and cheese on the same cookie sheet, and we're going to let them both in there until they brown nicely. So, that's all there is to it. That was pretty quick and pretty easy. And while I'm waiting for that, I can do a kitchen cleanup. And then I will be ready for dinner. My husband's out doing a few things today, so I thought I would go ahead and get all this done. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. go ahead and get some water in my cheese pot. My daughter loves chicken pot pie and she loves macaroni and cheese. And they're also one of my favorites, my husband's favorite meals. So I thought since I had the oven going today, I might as well make a chicken pot pie and a mac and cheese. So that's what I'm into today. See how quick and easy that was? Nothing to it. If you have the frozen pie crust, it's really easy. So now all I have to do is a little bit of cleanup and we're all done. And I had baked a pineapple upside down cake yesterday, so Mr. Zink will still have some pineapple upside down cake for dessert. And that will make him a very nice meal. It'll be quick and easy. So, I hope that was informative. You got to see how fast and easy that was to put together. So, that's what I'm doing today. Do a little bit of cleanup here this afternoon. I have everything ready and dinner prepared, and my evening will be complete. So, that was very quick and easy on the recipe for the chicken pot pie. Of course, I only I used the whole chicken that I had baked and then deboned, and then I used the breast, mostly the breast, for the filling for the chicken pot pie. I had the bottom and top pie crust frozen today because I'm trying to rotate through my freezer and use up all my frozen pie crust before I make any new pie crust. And I used 1 can of mixed vegetables, drained, and 1 can of cream of chicken soup. And I added a little bit of salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder. You can add whatever seasons you want in your filling. I mixed that up of course, in the bottom of my pie pan, or my pie crust, I poked some holes with a fork, because that'll help your pie crust to raise better in the oven. And then I put the top crust on, and I put a few holes in the top, and I coated it with an egg wash. And then, of course, for the mac and cheese, I had already cooked some macaroni the other day for my macaroni salad, and had about a quart extra, so I froze it. So I went ahead and just thawed that out. And I used 1 can of condensed milk, almost an 8-ounce box of Velveeta cheese. I used just a little bit of shredded cheddar in the sauce. I used 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of flour to begin it. Let that brown just a little bit. Then added my milk. Then added my cheeses and just stirred it up, and then added my macaroni, put it in my sprayed aluminum bake pan, and then added the remaining shredded cheddar on the top of the mac and cheese. And I'm just going to leave both of those in the oven until they brown nicely, and there's dinner. So, that was very quick, very easy. Thank you if you stopped in. If you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up. I'm mostly doing this for my daughter, but I do appreciate knowing that my videos are informative and that people do like my videos. So, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here, do a kitchen cleanup, and enjoy the rest of my afternoon and get some more laundry completed. So, that's what I'm doing on my Tuesday. Again, I hope this was informative. I hope you enjoyed it. Always go to the kitchen. Try new things. Have fun. Enjoy yourself in the kitchen. Don't be afraid to try new things. And as always, remember, be kind. Be kind to one another. We need to see more of that. So, till next time, bye-bye. And happy Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and the rest of your day. Till next time, bye-bye. And to my daughter, if you were watching, you've seen that recipe. You can follow along. You see how easy that is. You're in the kitchen with Mom. It's real easy. I love you, sweetheart. So, till next time, bye-bye, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Bye-bye.